Well, hey everybody, it's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. So happy to be sharing this recipe with you today. We are doing braised chicken thighs with tomatillos. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. I believe I've been walking by them in the produce department for all of my adult life and never even knew what they were or that they were even there. So I'm really excited to be cooking with these today, as well as jalapeno. And got some tips and tricks about working with jalapenos that I can hardly wait to share with all of you. But let's first talk about what we're going to do as everybody finds us and finds their way to us here on Facebook on the Nanny Bubby page. We've got a couple people already finding us. So happy that you're here. Everybody set your alarms. Nanny Bubby's always showing up right at 3 p.m. So the first thing we're going to do is, hey Cynthia, good afternoon to you as well. So happy to have you here. Looks like one other person found us and then went away. Hey, Cynthia Berman, again. So glad that you're here. Okay, so let's start first with the chicken thighs, because what we're going to do is we're going to put those into the pot and we are not going to touch them for about 10 minutes. So I'm starting, as always, with olive oil in the pan right there. And then we're also going to put in about a tablespoon of butter. So this looks like maybe 2 tablespoons, and I always overdo it with the butter, but hey, we're always spreading love like butter, so why not? But the truth is that we want these thighs to get good and brown. I'm using an extra large pan just so that you can see everything very, very well. I normally would cook these in my Le Creuset enameled cast iron pan, but just for you, these pots are bigger. I'd really like to find the Le Creuset really oversized pot that would make my life absolutely fantastic in sharing all of this with you. So I've got my eye out for that. I also want to say that I lost my apron last week. I know I'm still talking about it. I just bought 2 new ones and I'm about to get them embroidered. But the really good news about having lost them is it gives me a chance to actually acknowledge all of the wonderful people in my life who have given me really adorable aprons to wear. And I love this. It was given to me by Brenda. Her girlfriend Carla did the artwork on it. It says grow, cook, and gather. And of course, you know, that's my brand, Grow, Cook, Gather with Nanny Bubby and Spread Love Like Butter. So I love wearing this apron. Of course, I wore on Monday my very favorite apron, the very first one that was given to me by my dear friend Sherry Quillen, that gave me the name Chef Nanny Bubby, which made me cry that night. And also that night gave me the idea that one day I was going to have a cooking show, which I had no idea of. Didn't start this to do that. Hi, Denise again. How are you? So nice to see you. Yes, Carla is fabulous. Do you know Carla, Denise, or you're just saying she did a fabulous job on this apron? She sure did. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I have watched, or not I have watched, but I have definitely made this recipe for all of you before. Hey, Christy Fleck, nice to have you here. You're brand new, it feels like, so I'm very happy that you're here. I am making this recipe for the first time for Christy, I'm sure, but I have made it on the show here before. So let me grab the chicken thighs. Reaching over, I think the only thing that I regret about my iPhone 12 is that it doesn't have a wide enough lens that when I reach and grab that I'm still in the picture, but we are getting there. Hi, Doug Eisher. I saw you creep on in. So nice to see you again. Doug is one of our few men that show up every single day, and I love that about him. So if you can see these chicken thighs, let me just turn this a little bit for you to see. There we go. And these have been dried by me with a paper towel, and they're very, very dry. There's a paper towel on the bottom so that all the chicken juice has gone ahead and dripped on down. And I'm just going to give me 1 second here. I'm going to grab some olive oil because I'm going to very, very simply just spray these with a little bit of olive oil. And I'm doing that for one reason. Can anybody guess what the reason why that I'm spraying it is? So that when I put on the salt and pepper, such as this, remember the higher up you hold your spoon when you sprinkle the salt on, the more control you have. I know I say that every time, but every time there's someone new watching, and I love this technique. So I say it over and over again. Those of you who are used to hearing it, you'll forgive me. And same thing with the pepper. There we go. And we're just going to hold this up and just sprinkle, light sprinkle of pepper, just to give it a little bit of heat. Remember, we're always working with salt, heat, fat, and acid. This is going to have it's actually going to have a lot of acid because of the jalapeno. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, so what we're going to do with these now, let me turn you towards the pot, is I'm just going to very gently take them. And hello, Helene Wine, how are you? And so nice to have you here. Hi, Mom. How are you? And Patty Kennedy is here. So everybody's finding us. And we're just going to put these chicken thighs right here into the pan. I like to do things that will add a browning technique. If you keep kosher, I would use avocado oil in this because you can take avocado oil and you can heat it way, way up, which keeps it from toxicity. Again, olive oil, when heated up at certain temperatures, lets off toxins. So in this case, you'd be better off using avocado oil. So there you go. Okay, now I'll get rid of these paper towels. I will blot the back of these chicken thighs. Now they really are, I mean, when I took these out of the package, there was very little juice. They were so nice and dry. It was really phenomenal. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of this avocado oil. I called it olive oil, but it is not. It is avocado oil by Chosen. It's 100% organic. And I'm just going to season, turn these up to a medium-high temperature. And this will take about 10 minutes to brown. So I'm going to show you the technique of cutting up everything else to go into this dish, which you're going to love, and while these brown. And the key to browning anything, everybody, is to make sure that you don't move them. Do not move these. Just let them sit and roast and cook and roast and cook. Okay, so the backside is now seasoned so that when we turn them over, we have nothing to worry about. We're just going to reach in with a pair of tongs and we're going to turn them over. Okay, so now let's talk about what we're putting there. Hey, Roseanne, how are you? Hey, Eva, nice to see you. I just want to say about Roseanne. Roseanne made a post about her granddaughter, who is one talented young lady in her school play. I think it was college. Roseanne, was it college or high school? I feel like it was a college play, but anyway, it was really quite phenomenal to look at. So congratulations, or like we like to say, mazel tov on your granddaughter. So we're going to be working now with tomatillos. Now, let me tell you, these are tomatillos. Hey, Brenda. Yes, yes, Carla Rem. Okay, very good. High school. Well, she looked like college. She was wonderful. Thank you, Brenda, and thank you to Carla. I hope she's watching. One day she'll have to come on. Okay, so here we go. These are tomatillos. You can see that they're like green tomatoes with a leaf over the top of it. And I wonder, I'm going to hold this. Can you hear them tearing? And as you can see, as they tear off, what is there is what looks like a green tomato. They're very tangy, which I really love about that. And so we're going to peel these and we're going to rinse them. Okay, and they're very easy to peel. It's not like peeling an onion. Here we go. We've got about 1.5 pounds of the tomatillos, and we're going to slice these in just a minute. So we're peeling them all off. And she loves to cook, but she's in Denver. Oh, for some reason I thought she was in Michigan, because I know Mary Romiti is in Michigan, right? And I know she's friendly with you, and I saw her post a like on that. So that was exciting to see. I remember Mary came from you. Whoops, I'm dropping things all over here. Okay, all right, over here. And now I am going to, if you can see, we're just going to rinse the skin of these. There we go. And I can smell this chicken starting to get nice and crisp. What we really want is the skin of the chicken to get nice and golden brown. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to pat those dry just a little bit. Okay, the next thing we're going to do And this is the part that you have to be very, very, very careful. Thanks, Roseanne, for the good memory comment. My family has thinking that I've lost my brain lately, that I can't remember anything just because I lost my apron. But truth be known, I've lost several other things lately too, what I can't find. So I don't know. I remember the things I guess I want to remember and forget the things I want to forget. Who knows? But anyway, thank you for that comment. Okay, there we go. Last one. So let's move on to the jalapeno. So here's the deal. As you can see, I've got my cutting board here, and I don't think twice about putting things. Hey, Jennifer Tuttle, nice to see you back here. You said I missed your segment for a week. Nice to be on again and watch you cook something delicious. Yes, I have cooked this before. So rather than just cooking it very quickly and giving you just the recipe ingredients, I'm going to give you more technique. So here we go. We're going to start with the technique of the jalapeno. I need to make sure that my hands are nice and dry because I'm going to tell you, do not cut a jalapeno unless you wear gloves. And this is the reason why. Because those jalapeno juices, my hands were not dry enough. I rushed it. You cannot rush your hands into latex gloves if they're slightly moist. It's a problem. Okay, there we go. Let's get in. Let me make sure this hand is nice and dry. Okay, the reason that you want to wear these gloves is because the juices from the jalapeno will get onto your skin, and even if you wash your skin very well with soap and water, the oils remain, and you go reach up and maybe to wipe your eye, to do something of that nature, and you find yourself in a heap and hop and lot of trouble. So always with the gloves when you're working with jalapenos and some of the other hot peppers. And further, this is my cutting board, my beautiful cutting board that my husband gave me right here. But I would not cut jalapeno on my cutting board. As you know, I do cut garlic, I do cut onion, I can clean it up, but I can promise you that the oils from a jalapeno will never come out of your cutting board. So I am using this plastic board, which I can put into the dishwasher when I am done. So I'm cutting off the head of the jalapeno. There we go. I am going to cut through this, slice it just right in half lengthwise. We're going to dig out the seeds, which is where all the heat is. And so for me, I want to be very cautious that I don't get any seeds into the dish. Okay. And I mean, even just standing over this, my eyes are starting to water. For me, it's worse than onions. So let's just scale all of the rind and the skin out. There we go. Okay, and now we are going to cut this. A couple seeds ended up on my cutting board, but a seed or two is not going to kill us. And there we go. Get this off, seeds off. Okay, and now, there we go. There we go. Oh boy, they stick, don't they? Okay, so we're just going to slice these into really tiny little slices, just like this. There we go. Using this plastic cutting board that we're going to be able to stick in the dishwasher and not to worry about. There we go. Okay, just slicing them as it gets to the wider part. I think I'll cut these in half like this. Can you see this okay? I think you can. And we are slicing. Okay, almost done. We'll leave these right at the corner and on the outside. And that way, when it comes time, I'll just be able to pop them right into this. Now, the great thing about this is that we're going to cook it up to a certain point, and then I'm going to reheat it about 30 to 40 minutes prior to sitting down for dinner, so that my husband's and my son's dinner is not dried out, but you'll know exactly what to do from that point on. So as you can see in the chicken, it's starting to bubble. The skins are getting nice and crisp. I'm going to grab myself some tongs so I can turn that when the time comes. Oh boy. There we go. On my way back, guys. Hang on. Okay. So There we go. Here's some tongs. I'm just going to peek. You're not supposed to. Don't do as I do. So there's way too much juice in here. And what we have to do is wait for the rendered chicken fat to just get brown and brown and brown. And then that way we will be able to let them braise and get brown. But for right now, there's an awful lot of fat coming off of the skin. And so because it is, that has put a lot of chicken fat into this bowl. And in order for these to get brown, honestly, we might actually even have to drain some of the fat. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? We just got to do what we've got to do when it calls for what it calls for. So for now, I'm going to take the jalapeno and I'm going to set it aside. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop the tomatillos. And actually, before we chop the tomatillos, let me show you the technique of skinning the garlic. So when I first saw this, I was really worried. I thought to myself, there's no way I'll be able to do that. But it's really simple. And what you do is you take sort of the flat part of the garlic, if you can see, lay it on your cutting board. Take your knife, ask Peeps to what? Share. Okay. My husband, I thought it said ask Peeps to shave. I'm like, you want me to ask my people to shave? I thought he was, here, come show the sign. It's cute. There, it says ask Peeps to share, but I thought it said ask Peeps to shave. So the reason, thank you, dear, he's asking me to ask yours. He's reminding me to tell you that if you think that what we're cooking here, or if you think that what I'm sharing with you would change one person's life, would bring joy to them in the kitchen rather than bread in the kitchen, or if you think that it might brighten their day a little bit, then just take below, just go ahead and ask to share the video, or just do share the video in your on your Facebook page, because it really helps. And it also tells Facebook that people are liking this page. And so what they will do, hey Teresa, I'm pretty sure I said hi to you. Hey Patty Kennedy again. Let's see. Cynthia said hi, Tom. That Facebook, the algorithm from Facebook will actually then continue to put me in front of you more often. So that's, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you to everybody who is taking the time to share. Just go down at the bottom of the page here and hit share, play it live, and that's how we get more people. And the algorithm, I mean, it's almost like the algorithm is a person. It's like I want to just like make the algorithm happy. So now that you saw what I did with, thank you guys so much. So what we're going to do now is, as you saw, I got all the outer skin off the garlic. Now, this recipe calls for chopped garlic. Chopped pieces of garlic or smashed garlic, and you know that I don't like that, because nobody wants to take a bite of their meal and end up with the biggest piece of garlic. So I always mince the garlic really good. So just chop it on. You know, the more garlic you have, the easier it is to mince, because it's easier to keep it together. That's another hint. But I chop it, then I mince it. I pull it off of the knife, and then it's easy to go back through, and I just start at one end and just work my way down to the other, continuing to keep it together like this. Now, there are no techniques for chopping the tomatillos, because they're as new to me as they are to all of you. Actually, this is only the second time I've worked with them, second time that I'm making this recipe. So let's see if when making them, I can kind of come up with an idea of how best to chop these. We want to keep them away from the garlic, just because we don't want garlic to get too wet. Even though we're going to throw it all in at one time, I don't want all those juices to end up in the cutting board. And so right now, thanks Jennifer, thanks Roseanne, you guys are the best. Doug Eicher, how about you, my friend? Let's see you share that. Okay, so we're going to take these tomatillos, and what I'm going to do is cut them in half like this. Now they're not as juicy inside as they're almost like an apple on the inside. Hey, Stacy Hackett. Hi, everyone. Looking yummy. So nice to have you here, Stacy. And we're just going to slice through these in little tiny pieces like this. Do you have another note for me? If you are new, like my page. Okay. Tom has a new note for me. It said, if you're new, like my page. Okay. All right. You know what? It's become a family affair down here in the kitchen at 3 p.m., right? I love that, don't you? Okay. So then I'm just cutting through these. This is like an apple. And again, we're just going to, I think I'm going to cut in half like that and just cut right through it like that. So these are in tiny little pieces. Okay. Now let me just check the skins of, oh my gosh. Now look at this. Now look at how nice and golden that is. Do you see that? Aren't those beautiful? Okay. So let me just check on all of them. Nope, this is not quite there yet. But I would say that that is golden brown. So I'm going to take that, put it into a side pan. Let's see. I think the burner here is a little bit uneven. I'm going to stick that in the middle. One. Okay, there's another one. Beautifully, beautifully brown. Whoop, there we go. Let's see. Okay, I'm moving these over to the side because it looks like the back of this pan is heating and cooking better. Okay, we'll keep the fire up and burning. All right, back here to the tomatillos. There we go. Okay. Okay, can you see me? All right. So again, we're going to cut through the tomatillos. And you know, I usually last time I made these, I actually cut through these tomatillos actually early before you got here. But I also really wanted to take the time to show you technique. I think I had chopped all of them but one and just kind of showed you that. But today I really wanted to go through the technique. You know, we all have repeaters, and this is a repeater for us and our family. Everybody loved it, and everybody was asking for it once again. And so I definitely wanted to make it again. And I can't make different things every day, right? Just like you and your family, you have repeaters, both for you and for the family. But I really thought that what I would do is just go through the technique. I think what I really love about these tomatillos is that they're tomatoes that have more of a texture of an apple. And so when they get into the food, they just have a very sweet, but yet tangy taste that goes right in with the food. So I've got 3 to go. See how fast I can do this. And then we are going to lower the heat on this pan, take the chicken out, and we're going to start all over again with the onion. And let me tell you, the way this comes together is so beautiful. Okay, Tom, if you're there and you're listening, Biggie is barking to go out. So if you can come let Biggie out for me, that would be great, because he won't stop. That's for sure. Okay, so hopefully Tom has heard me. This morning I had a live show with a friend of mine with, you all know Wellness by Colette, and we did a 9 a.m. show on her webpage. And Biggie interrupted the entire show. It was really quite something. So hopefully Tom has heard me, and he's coming down. There we go. So at this point, I realized I still have my gloves on, but I certainly could have taken them off by now. So here we go. There he is. Tom came down to let Biggie out. Thank you, Tom. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these chicken skins. There we go. Let's see how these are doing. Okay. Again, beautiful and golden. There we go. This one too. Take a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And you know what? I didn't even put paprika on these. You know, usually sometimes I will cheat and I will put smoked paprika on them for color and helping them brown, but I did not need to do that. And again, these brown beautifully if you never touch them. So I realize I have touched them, but I didn't touch them for at least 8 minutes. So look at how beautiful and golden that is. Okay, we'll give these other ones just a couple of minutes to just catch up with the other ones. I'm getting splattered with chicken grease here. We're cutting the tomatillos. So I realize that I'm definitely taking time here to cut the mundane, but the fact is that I needed you to see technique and I wanted you to truly understand the making of the dish. So if you'll just give me a few minutes and hang in there with me to cut this dish and get everything prepped, you are going to love how this dish comes together and how beautiful it is. So, okay, so there's the tomatillos. I'm going to push those off to the other edge. And you can see just, they look like little green apples. They look like a cross between a Granny Smith apple and a tomato. So they're quite beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to cut this onion, just as I talked about yesterday. But we are not dicing these. We are just cutting them in thin slices. And I'm going to start by just taking a little bit off the side to make it nice and flat, so that it will stand up on the cutting board. Get all the skin off. There we go. There you go. All the way off. Just dig in and take it off. There we go. Okay. Off we go. So how many of you can hear my Ring doorbell going off? Even when my phone is silenced, that still makes noise. Okay. So there we go. So we're going to just slice this into nice thin slices, being very careful of Nanny Bubby's fingers. Hey, baby. Biggie's back in. Tom's back in. All is right with the world. Okay, let me slice this end off. Okay. There we go. All right. Almost there. Almost there, gang. Okay. One last little slice on these. Okay. So now we're going to start a little bit of a slice on those. Okay, so they're nice and thinly long sliced. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, all right. Let's get back to the chicken. We're going to turn this down one bit. We're going to look at these skins, which really just beautiful, right, guys? Absolutely beautiful. We're going to turn this down to medium. Look at that. Just beautiful. Okay, and we're going to start out now with the onions. And we're going to sweat the onions. There we go. There's so much chicken fat in this pan that these onions are going to cook really fast and absorb all of that, which is amazing. There you go. See that? Okay. That's amazing. I actually think this could have used even one more onion. But I have a feeling that what will happen, we're going to salt this so that those onions brown and sweat at the same time. A little bit of pepper. Okay. So now just before, this is key, just before we're getting ready to add the tomatillos and the jalapenos, we're going to throw in the garlic. And you never want to cook garlic for more than about 1 minute because it will burn, especially in hot chicken fat like this. So we're just going to throw that garlic in. In fact, I'm actually going to put the tomatillos in first, and then I'm going to put in the garlic. So I realized that I never took the gloves off when working with the jalapenos, so I'm going to do that now and just get those off to the side for fear that I might do exactly that and get jalapeno juice all over myself and near my eyes. So there we go. So now we're going to add in the tomatillos. So here we go. And that is going to absorb all of that luscious, luscious chicken fat. Now, these are organic chicken thighs. I wouldn't use anything but that. I think it is as important to eat what you know is sourced well as it is to eat it all. Because the point of eating is that we are to eat so that we can nourish ourselves. And if we are eating animals that have not been raised healthy and happy, or that have are subject to a lot of cortisol in their systems due to the stress of their living conditions. I mean, just think about our living conditions in the last year, how stressed we all were. We are no different than animals. And so the fact is the most basic of human instincts is to feed ourselves and our family. Without feeding ourselves, we do not survive. So the most important thing that we can do to survive, to live, to be happy, and to be healthy is to eat animals that we trust have been sourced beautifully and sourced well, sourced happily. So you really need to know who your butcher is, and then you need to know where that meat is coming from. And you want to buy as close to the source as you can. So I have often wanted to buy a cow myself and have that cow that I know has lived a happy and healthy life to be slaughtered and 100% of its meat used for purposes of health and sustainability for the human race, right? We're all concerned about sustainability of the animals and the seas and the earth's surface. And animals are concerned about our sustainability, really. And if they're not healthy and happy, we are not going to be healthy and happy. So there's just a little tip or trick that I have on my philosophy behind eating healthy and happily. So how many of you have actually, yes, you all like happy cows. We do. I mean, I think there was a commercial years ago that said happy cows are man's best friend, and I believe that is all true. Hey, Sue Mendorf, thanks for being here. Happy to see you again. So, okay, so the garlic is in. That's it. And now we are going to take these jalapenos and we're going to scrape them right off this board. No touching. And into the pot they go. There we go. Now the last thing we're going to do, I just want to turn this up one more to get some of this fat evaporating. And so how many of you have you ever purchased a whole cow? Like, oh, you can smell that garlic. And the jalapenos. Wow. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at this. Is that gorgeous? Look at all that green, that rich, beautiful green. So let me take this and separate it out. And let's get back to our chicken and get our chicken in, and then I'll show you the very next step. Okay, there we go. So into the pot we go. There we go. Now the really great thing is that we have already seasoned the back side of these. We don't have to worry. There we go. Boy, you should smell the jalapenos and the tomatillos. Oh, delicious. So delicious. Look at how beautiful and brown. Okay. Anybody say that they've sourced a cow before? Let's see. Anybody? Anybody bought a cow like out of Utah, out of Denver? How about you, Roseanne? Your family? Anybody in your family? Have they ever sourced an entire cow? I'm really seriously thinking about it. I think I've threatened to do it for years. So there you have it. Now there's the last two things that we are going to do is we are going to take these garbanzo beans, or can't think of the other word for it. I'm just taking them right out of the can. 15 ounces. They have been rinsed, drained, and rinsed. Let's see, I bought a half a cow, but not a whole cow. And so where did you get it from, Denise? Where did you get your cow from? Utah. I'm guessing Utah, or maybe even Idaho. Tell me, where did you get it? And were you happy with it? I think that's the question. Were you happy with it? And a half a cow probably could last a family almost a year, I'm guessing, right? So I think if you're going to source a cow, what you want to do is split it maybe with a family. Yep, you got it out of Utah. And were you happy with it? Before I go on here, were you happy with the cow? Were you happy with what you bought? That is the question. Waiting. Yes, it was great. I mean, the flavor like something you never expected, right? And how long did it last a family of? So you're a family of how many and how long did it last? We used to buy a calf at the auction, raise it, and have it slaughtered. That's amazing. That's awesome. That's good. And I'm very sensitive to animal rights, but the fact is that these animals have their purpose. And if you love animals, the food factory industry literally takes these animals. They use 20% of it for just the meat, and then they throw the rest of that animal away. And so really it is, it's not a generous, loving thing to do to raise this thing and then throw it away. If you are going to slaughter an animal, then what you need to do is use it all. Don't I can't think of the word. I don't know. Don't insult it is the word. Don't insult it by only using 20% of it and throwing the rest away. If it's going to give its life for all of our well-being, well, then let's eat the whole thing and honor it. I just think that's the best thing we can do as humans. So you were a family of 4, and it lasted over a year. Shared some with my mom and friends. There you go. A half a cow for a family of 4 lasted a whole year. And about, how much did it cost, Denise? Share that piece with us. So here we go. I'm going to add now 4 cups of chicken broth. Now this is leftover vegetable broth that I had. So I am combining the vegetable broth that was left over. And what you want to do is you want to add enough broth that you cover up the chicken to braise it about right up to the skins. And that's it. Just right up to the skins, because what you're going to do is you're going to braise this on a high heat, sort of a medium high heat, so that it's simmering for about 30 to 35 minutes. Now, the first time I made this, I didn't simmer it long enough and fast enough. And so when we cut into the chicken thighs, they were still red and they were still very not cooked all the way. And my son said, well, this is the part of what happens at Nanny Bubby's house that my viewers don't see, is she just put raw chicken on the table, and I did. And I said, oh my God, how do I explain that to everybody? But it did happen. So word of the wise, I am putting in the full 4 cups right up to the skin. There we go. And I think that's enough. And then what will happen is I'm actually going to turn this off right now. I'm going to put a cover on it. And then when we get ready to sit down for dinner, hi, Kelly Benstead. Thank you for being here. So happy to meet you and see you. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. And so when I get ready to reheat this, I will take the cover off. What you want to do is, if you can see this right now, is the liquid is all the way up to just where the skins start. And then this juice is going to simmer and it's going to thicken. And the tomatillos actually help and cause it to thicken, because those tomatillos start to break apart. Then we're going to take some limes and we're going to squeeze lime juice right over the top of it. Put some lime slices right on the top of this with some chopped chives or parsley. And then I'm going to serve it for dinner. And that's it for today. Let's see, what brand of chicken broth do you prefer? So I use Kettle and Fire bone broth. Kettle and Fire bone broth. And I love this. I guess it's keto friendly, so that's always a good sign if you care about keto or paleo. I don't buy it for that. I buy it because I really believe that this bone broth is the best I've ever tasted. I really am going to work at combining bones to make actual bone broth myself. I didn't use my I didn't use my Thermopop. That is actually, Teresa, why I ended up buying it. Funny that you should bring that up. But when that happened, I thought to myself, I really need to have something that is reliable to check, especially when I cook in two parts, right? At 3 o'clock, I cook for all of you. At 6 o'clock or 5:30, I cook for my family. And I need to be able to differentiate, like one part of this is being done for all of you, but then I have to finish it when they all come for dinner. And so that's actually what caused me to go out and buy it, funny enough. So thank you for asking that question. That's how I was like, what is the best thing that I can use? So that's it for today. I'm going to serve this along with riced cauliflower because the juices, just the riced cauliflower with a little salt and pepper, it's like serving it on top of rice. I think I have a leftover sweet potato from when I made the gypsy stew for my nephew's birthday on Saturday, and I'm going to use that. And I'm going to bake that in the oven and just have a little bit of sweet potato on the side, sliced up, just a few bites, just to add to the flavors together, the sweet flavors from the sweet potato with the tangy and spiciness of the tomatillos and the jalapenos, a little rice cauliflower to absorb all of the juices, and that's it. That's it for dinner. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of It's Time for Dinner with Nanny Bubby. Remember, if you're new to us, yummy, thanks, Denise. Just remember that you can go to nannybubby.com/spices, plural, and you can do a free download of the 19 essential herbs and spices that every kitchen needs. It's there just for you to enjoy. We are working on the Happy Fridge right now, even as we speak, and I'll be publishing that soon. And then the Happy Pantry will follow it. So if you don't know about it yet, by all means, so tell me, hit me with a 1 if you've downloaded. Tell me if you've downloaded the Happy Spice Cabinet. Nannybubby.com/spices. There we go. And let me know if you've downloaded it. I definitely want you to do that. And that's it for today. Remember, if there's one person in your life, hey, Robert Bush, thank you for being here. You're just coming in. Roseanne got her Happy Spices. Cynthia got her Happy Spice Cabinet. Who else has downloaded their Happy Spice Cabinet? Definitely can go there and get it right now. It's a free download, nothing required. You just have to put it in your email to get it emailed to you. And by the way, that's not because of us, but that's how this program works, is that they send it to your email. So stand by for that. And that's just the way the program works. So that's it for me. Remember, share this with anybody. Tag a friend on this. If you tag a new friend that has never been here before, I will personally reach out to them. So definitely tag somebody that you think might enjoy our No More Dinner Dreads and cooking dinner with Nanny Bubby. So thank you so very much, everybody. Love you to pieces. Happy to be here every day. And remember, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye, everybody.